in the top mount position. So get to where you can see, guys. You don't have to stay. You don't have to stay where you're at. You don't have to stay where you are. Get up, stand around, move. So the only thing that we're going to talk about, bottom person. I don't want your elbows on the mats. I want your elbows up here. My first movement is going to be to get your elbows up like this, like trees. I want your elbows together. I don't want your hands crossed yet. Just want your elbows together, and then I want you to turn like this. That's it. Does that make sense? So if you're on the bottom, that's all I want you to do. Elbows are going to be up. I'm going to lift them up like this, and you're going to turn like this. Okay? So me, if you're me, it's your first day, right? There's 3 styles of mount. We're going to go over them. We're not going to do them. We're going to cover them. There's a low mount where like my feet are underneath him. I've got my feet coming to my butt like a scorpion. My knees are coming off the mat. I'm driving a lot of weight into him. Then we have like a mid mount where his elbows were up on his, like this defensive position. His elbows are stacked up on top of his rib cage. Where I just kind of bump my thighs up under his elbows. I can't get that inside space. The concept we're going to be talking a lot about today is the inside space. So he's actually refusing the inside space. Now, via MMA, it's really easy to start getting his hands up like this. Then I can climb up into what we call the high mount. When I get to the high mount, my feet are in like stirrups. My knees are squeezing in, but not straight in. Not sliding in on the mat. They're actually squeezing in and up because I want his elbows together, right? So the direction of my knees, we're just going to go here. This is it. We're going to start here. And all I'm going to do, remember the bottom person's just going to let it. I'm just going to walk from that middle mount to that high mount. Hands on the mat, and I just slide my knees up. Throughout this entire process, balance is going to be crucial. Some of you guys are going to want to feel like you need to lift one side, maybe because you're a little heavy and you're self-conscious or whatever. Don't do that. Keep your weight centered to your partner. Okay, that's really going to help you as we kind of navigate the waters of what's going to happen next. So, one more time for all you new guys, we're just going to walk hands to the mat. I'm just going to walk up tight. My knees are going to break the line of his shoulders this way, and my feet are going to be in stirrups. And we call these active toes, where I'm up on the ball of my feet, or not the ball of my feet, but like I'm making a fist with my foot. Okay, so now the entire goal from this position is to change the direction of my knees completely and point him to his belly button. That's the concept we're working today. My knees point to his belly button, okay? So, hands to the mats. All he's gonna do is turn to the side, remember? He just elbows come up and he rolls to his side. But I have to figure out the path that my knees are gonna go to his belly button. And it's real simple. I'm gonna have my hands to the mats and I'm gonna start with one knee. Now remember, I don't wanna off balance myself. See this? I want to stay balanced. I'm just going to slide my knee to his ear. See how he reacts? That really wasn't me. That was kind of him. He's doing the right thing. This is what I want. Proper reaction from him. It makes it way easier to learn the steps of what we're going to go to do. Okay. Next step, I run into a problem with my foot over here. Okay. As my knee comes to his ear, I have to get this foot out of the way. So I can lift this foot up. That's where my knee up rather. That's one way to do it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of space between my partner and I want to hold him to the earth. So as I take this knee to the ear, my spine starts to change directions from his. So Hunter's spine is going to stay this way, like the lines on the map. My spine is already starting to turn out here to a 45. When that happens, I can just straighten my foot. Notice that my leg, my thigh, never comes out of the space from this arm. This is super important, right? I got it there, I'm gonna keep it there. Opening up the inside space and controlling it, okay? So, just from here, my spine being aligned, I can keep my head down. Obviously, flexibility does play a part. If I can straighten my leg, my toes are pointed, I'm just gonna turn my toes over. Now I want my foot on ice, so I'm gonna say that a lot today. I'm gonna slide my heel underneath his head. Okay, and if I can lift his head up, but I want my knee and my heel together underneath his head. Remember what I said about weight. I want you to balance your weight. I don't want you to set back here. Okay, I want you to balance your weight. Now this position, I've turned my spine to a 90 degree. This is called S mount. For those of you that are taking notes, it's just my legs look like a number, or the letter S, rather. Okay, I'm gonna walk through this thing the entire way. But we're not going to make this complicated. What did I say our goal is to get into the first step? We got to change the direction of my knees. That's all we're doing. Don't make it complicated. Okay? Got it? But this is the first step. We got to get to the position of S mount. Right? Now, my knee comes over the top of his head. See, now he's in the position that he's in. Right? Now I can balance on my left knee here. Not a whole lot here, but everything is nice and tight. So I want you to look again at the space that I opened up from underneath on the back side of his arms. It's still open. I don't have a lot of gaps there. Everything is nice and tight, right? So once my knee comes over the top of his face, you can see how my knees can start to turn to his belly button, which is the whole goal that we're doing. I want my knees to turn to his belly button, okay? Now, as my knee comes across the top of his face, we're gonna start to deep hook this top arm. When I say deep hook, I just want you to think about the crook of your elbow. And I want you to hold the arm constantly in that. I want you to hold it like a baby, meaning that you need to hold it with some intention, but you're not holding it firm, because what's gonna happen is his elbow will explode underneath, right? I need to hold it with intention. I'm not trying to keep it straight. I'm just holding it with intention, okay? So now you can see that my spine has actually broke the plane of this 90 degree. We were here, we went here. I've actually broken the plane of 90. Now I can take my knees and I can turn them to his belly button. Well, we got a little upper body work to do. I'm gonna take my outside shoulder and I'm just gonna fold it underneath me. Okay, now you see how his other arm is trapped? We're gonna have him pull this arm out, right? I'm gonna fall to my hip pocket. I'm still on my knees. I'm still just as tight to the shoulder as I have been. I'm still pinched knees as I have been. And I'm just gonna fall right to my side right here, okay? My bottom arm is still gonna hold the arm bar. I still have the arm bar. My top hand is just gonna go right into his pocket, and I'm just gonna go stiff arm right there, okay? And this is where we're gonna get to stop right here. No submission has happened. The arm is extended. I'm just hugging it again, deep hook. My hand is up kind of by my shoulder here, and my top arm is just pinning right to his pocket. But if you look, again, all I'm doing, think of my shin bone like a laser coming out of the top of my knee and the bottom of my foot, right? I gotta point it to his belly button. And that's the whole thing, you see? Now, we're gonna go back just one bit. Now, let's talk about like actual killing the guy. And when I say kill, I mean breaking his arm or getting breaking pressure, right? When do we start getting breaking pressure? And it's right here. This right here, this belly down arm bar, bro, this is as real as can be. I'm being nice and having my arm on the hand and I'm turning my shoulder in, but I want to be clear that this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going, and this is where we're going to end up. So I'm killing him the entire way through. And when I say kill, I mean I'm applying braking pressure to the arm. Okay? Does that make sense? So this is what I want to get. This right here. Okay. So the belly down arm bar is that's violent, but the best arm bar is what this belly raises. So again, like the idea of just pointing the knees to the belly button. But this is where we are. Okay. Now that we're here, you see I came up on his knees? If he didn't go that way, he's already died. Because I started killing him from right here. Let's go straighten your body. Yeah, go back to this pocket. Yeah, if he just lays there, don't come to your knees. If he lays there, you're gonna hear pop, pop, right? Like he's done from there. We had to let go. So he'll come up to his knees, right? Because his very next step is to roll. So let's look at this. So I'm here, he's up on his knees. Now he starts to roll. So if you look at my left foot here, the foot that's on top, I know you guys can't see it, but it's sticking out on the other side. I need to catch the shoulder that's attached to the arm that I have. So that's the only thing that we're gonna do. I said when we started this thing, I'm gonna turn my knees and I'm gonna point them to what? Belly button. We're gonna keep that in the forethought of what we're trying to do. So as he starts to roll, if my knee stays where it's at, where's it pointed? Am I gonna finish this arm bar? Nope. Let's go back. As he starts to roll, I just point my knee. As I point my knee, I curl my foot to the shoulder that I want. Right? I curl my foot, and the idea here is to hook behind his head. So let's go ahead and roll back. So if you notice, look, this knee stays tight, and I just curl it. It was here, and I just curl it to here. Okay? And I want to hook his head and lift his head. The reason I want to lift his head is because I don't want him to do the run a man escape or the BJ Penn or no, the hitchhiker. No, move your head. Go, there you go. Yeah. Now let's go back. Okay. So lifting his head, he can't hitchhiker, but watch here he can because he needs to move his head to the other side. And you guys can try this. See how his head's on my right hip? Or my knees are pointed this way, so he's going to take his head and move it look away from me, so he looks away, right? And the hitchhiker is the late escape. There's 100 escapes to do to an arm bar. It's the late one. The BJ Penn is what we used to call it back in the day, because I think BJ Penn was famous for giving you the arm bar, and he would stack his shoulders. So you see how 100 shoulders are stacked? Now it's just a matter of his head coming to the other side of my body. See? Which changes every direction that I have, basically. It's an inversion. You know what I mean? So I have to stop that. So I stop that. Go. He can't do that. So he's going to try to reverse hitchhiker, which is set up. So that's what my other foot's going to stop. So as we turn, I can't leave this leg over here. What's it got to do? Point to his belly button. So now my knees are together. Look, I'll just make this bad. I'll just straighten my leg, and then I'll back curl. Right? So I'm not going to be nice. Look how nice that is. See how nice that was? You see that? I'm not going to be nice. Right? Now he can't go somewhere, anything. Okay. Now we're going to talk about how we actually finish this arm bar. Okay? So let's look at this one more time. I'm going to start to change the direction of my knees. Over the head, fall to my hip here. He rolls, catch it, knees together, hook the head, straighten the leg, curl the leg. His arm is straight. I haven't lost my connection to the elbow, and this is really important. I gotta stay on the mechanism side of this thing. I can't be up here, right? If I'm here, there's no arm bar now. Does that make sense? So make sure that the joint that you're attacking, you're isolating, right? So I'm here, like so. And my knees, they're not this. So many guys are going to teach you to do arm bars like this. This is okay. Pinch your knees. Yeah. No, that's wrong. Pull your knees to the belly button. Right? He's not going anywhere. Okay. All you new guys, everybody in the room could probably do this. Yeah. It'll get it the first time. Look good in front of your girlfriend. It's not gonna work. Not real high level. It's not. Okay. And you want it to work high level, right? You don't want to learn. You want to know it. You know what I mean? And it's easy because it's science. You can't lie about concepts in science, right? I can't fake my jujitsu. Let's say I studied all this on YouTube before I got here. You'd have no idea, right? You've never trained before. You see what I'm saying? But somebody else who has trained, they'd be like, nah, that's not how that works. Now, people are going to show you different things, but you can't lie about the concepts, right? Where's Reese? Sexy son. There he is. Reese, I haven't seen this guy. He's a traitor. But he came from a school in Florida, went back to the school in Florida, and he can tell you, like, you can't lie about concepts. So I'm saying you should be able to take whatever I'm showing you. If you go and you say, man, that crazy 10th planet guy, don't call me a flat earther. That'd be weird. that crazy 10th planet guy told me that if I point my knees to the tummy, I'm going to finish an armbar. No, that's one of the things that you have to check off the list if you want the armbar. I'm not saying this isn't going to work. I'm just saying it's not going to work on all the levels, right? You're only pretending that your offense is better than his defense, but what happens when his defense is better than his offense? Right? What happens when he's just a better jiu-jitsu guy? Do you want to have the right understanding so that you can tap out a brown belt and a white belt? Of course. But you can't lie about the concepts, right? You can't be arrogant about those. You can't be arrogant about facts and science. Do you understand? We good with this? 1, 2, 3. I just want you to have fun with it. Left hand, left foot, right foot. Just take that. Left hand, left foot, right foot. Watch, okay? Get up on your knees. Okay, so he's going to be up on his knees, and we need to make sure that we're building an appropriate response. And I'm just going to talk about him. His hips right now are over his knees. Okay? See, does everybody see this? If his hips are over his knees, that means the center of balance is exposed. The center of balance is 2 inches below his belly button, right? If you want to move an immovable object, what do you need to do? Perfectly balance it on top of it, right? So if you guys want to move Panda around, you want him to come in with his hips out over the top of his knees. So we're going to not do that. We're going to keep our hips back and our knees in front. So we're going to scooch forward. Scooch. That's a good word. Scooch. Right? Everybody see that? Now, Hunter's goal is to keep my knee pinched on the inside of his knees. Does that make sense? Okay. So I've just got my bottom leg in, and it's laid out here. Just threaded through the bottom. It's some sort of half guard. Okay. My top foot, I'm going to smash my foot right on his thigh. Okay. And my knee's going to be on that far side shoulder over there. Not this one over here. If it's over here, he'll use this shoulder to push this space together like that. I don't want that, right? So I'm going to stomp on his thigh, and I'm going to disperse my energy like doing a good squat. Where does your energy disperse? When your toes or heels? Come on, weight. Heels. My weight is distributed through my heel. I'm stomping with my heel like I'm doing a squat. Okay, not my toes like I'm running. On my heels. Okay. My knees on his chest. My other arm, we're going to take Lego man grips. So Lego man grips, I'm going to focus on this muscle right here. Double Lego man grip on this arm. I'm not trying to grab it. I'm just trying to block it, okay? So again, we're looking at this on all levels, right? If he can punch me in the face right now, it's gonna be this arm. He's got too many things to overcome if he tries to punch me with this arm. It's gonna be this arm. So this is why it's 2-on-1 over here, okay? Does everybody see? Now, I'm gonna take my hands from here, and I'm gonna slide down to his wrist. When I do, I'm gonna keep my elbow nice and tight. I don't want him to re-pummel this to the inside and take that space up. So I'm gonna keep my elbow tight. I'm gonna take this hand and I'm gonna reach it right underneath, and I'm gonna use my thumb up and I'm gonna hook his armpit. So don't grab it. use your thumb up, hook his armpit, now let your thumbs rest. Does that make sense? Okay, this is an arm drag, right? The goal is to take this hand and punch it over here and make him think that I'm gonna shift my hips and take his back, right? I'm not gonna, but I want him to think that. When he feels that energy, when he feels that dragging across energy, he's probably gonna try to resist that energy, right? Which makes his arm like a beam pole, right? A telephone pole again, I'm sorry. So I can pull on it. So I'm gonna pull, look, I move my shoulder. So I gold bar in my pocket right there. I move my shoulder forward and I hook it here, okay? As I do that, I'm gonna kick my foot off the hip, and we're just gonna set it on the mat over there. You see how his space comes down to me? We want that, okay? Because we can reproduce this situation on a lot of different scales, not just this one. Maybe he's smashing and trying to pass me. Maybe he's an all-state wrestler, right? We can play this on all different kinds of scales, okay? But we're hooking here. So let's see this one more time. Stomping on the thigh. His hands just rested to the outside, okay? Got my knee on the shoulder over there. I got Lego man grips here. I'm on my right side. I'm not laying on my right side. I'm curled up here. I'm gonna slide down to the wrist, keep my elbow tight. I'm gonna thumb up, hook it, let your thumbs grip, right? He's gonna resist that shoulder pull. That allows me to bring myself underneath his shoulder, and I'm gonna switch grips. I'm gonna move my foot and just let him fall right on top of me. I'm gonna glue my left elbow to my ribs, and I'm just gonna lift my hand up like so. Okay, this palm I want to me, not away from this one. I want it to me. I'm gonna put my grip together. A lot of you guys are gonna try to do the Lego man grip. I don't want you to do that, that's really weak. Let's do shark fins, and let's grab like this part, right, like here, and then we're gonna grab the back side of our pinky knuckle, okay? Does that make sense? We call it a butterfly grip, right? So if you see what happened is I've hooked, or I've framed his head that way, try to put your head on top of mine, you can't, and I'm weighting his shoulder. That's the connection that I want. I want his shoulder connected to my body. That's it, right? You see how his hand is bent down here? We're gonna talk about this bend in just a minute, but I want him to help me reproduce this for just a second, just for sake of everybody learning and making it easy, okay? So we're gonna get here first, right? One more time. Stomp on the heel. Here we are, slide down to the wrist. We're gonna set up our arm drag. He's stiff, I pull myself to it, frame, and I attach myself to his shoulder, okay? Now I'm gonna shrug my shoulders up to my ears, right? Like I'm trying not to get choked, okay? As I do that, I wanna apply or like twisting pressure on his arm to help with this bend. I don't want his arm to come out in front of my head. That's the thing that I wanna make sure that I do, okay? I don't wanna be tight to his armpit here with my right elbow. I want my right elbow open just a little bit, and it's cutting back from the elbow to the shoulder. So it's kind of turning back here, right? And that kind of causes that reaction there. My foot's just posted on the hip. Now, I'm gonna take my spine and I'm just gonna move it away. Let me say that again. Take my spine and move it away. Not drop my shoulder to the mat. This is not the right thing. Move your hand over, grab my head. Right? So you turn that elbow over. I don't want this elbow to turn over. So I move my spine away. Turn that hand over. You can't do it, right? And what I did was, some little silent jujitsu there, is I slid his shoulder down to my belly button. And I can do that again. I can post my outside foot. I can scoot my hips back if I need to. And I can slide my spine away. And now we're starting to get into where we want to be, right? I'm still framed tight. Put your head over my head. Lift your shoulder up. You can't. Turn your arm over. You can't. Take my outside foot, and I'm just going to insert it inside. So I've got both feet to the inside. We call that a butterfly hook. Think of my shoelaces, dress shoelaces. That's your butterfly hook. We're just going to stick it inside right here. Okay? As I do that, I'm going to push this foot, and I set up, and I still keep the connection. Everything's still connected. The shoulder's still touching my belly button, and he's trying to get up to his knees, right? I want his elbow over the top of his shoulder. I'm gonna keep that. I just want to set up, just like so. The idea is to set up, and I want to be stomping on his feet. okay? And we can sweep from there, but we're just gonna get to this position. We're not gonna sweep them, we're just gonna get here, okay? When I started 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, it was all like rubber guard stuff. That's what everybody wants to see, right? This is what everybody came to learn, right? This rubber guard stuff. So when I first learned that, the most important concept that I learned is you can't attack flat backed, right? So let's get mountain. The most important concept that Eddie Bravo taught me is you can't escape flat backed, right? So get back into my foot. So with all that in mind, I'm definitely not flat backed here. You see, I'm on my right hip. I'm kind of laying on my right side all together. Kind of almost in a fetal position right here, right? When I come underneath, thumbs up, right? I pull myself. I'm gonna move my foot off his leg, and I'm gonna pull myself underneath his shoulder and come underneath. Then I'll let go, and I frame, right? Again, it's all about the positioning to the shoulder, where his shoulder's positioned in my body, okay? I want it down by my belly button. So instead of rolling back, see this? See how I went to my back? Okay, that's what he wants me to do. Right? Instead of doing that, I'm gonna take my spine and I'm just gonna move it away. But see, I didn't go to my back. I stayed on my right hip and my right side. But all I did, and if you guys did this, you can feel it if you're Hunter. His shoulder, I'm just extending my spine, and his shoulder is sliding down my belly button, right? And then when I hit back in, I can keep that rotational grip. When I set this up, here we go. Okay. Now, let's rewind just before this setup. Okay, so we scooted away, we shrimped, we scooted away if we had to do it a couple of times. I want us to think left knee to elbow. So my left knee to my left elbow. I want you guys to draw a straight line. What's in the way? His armpit, right? His neck. So I need to take my left knee underneath his armpit, underneath his neck, which means that I'm gonna scoop with my left shoulder a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of lift. I can't lose my connection to the shoulder, otherwise I lose everything, right? So I have to stay connected to the shoulder, but I'm gonna push the head up and I'm gonna bring my knee, I'm gonna bring my knee underneath, right? There's a little connection loss once my knee comes in front, okay? I lose this connection, but I'm hanging on it with both hands and I'm still cranking this downward turn on this hand right there, okay? Now, if you remember, I keep my knee, where should my knee go? We did this in mountain. My knee goes where? Where does it point? It points to the belly button. So my foot's gonna come up and I'm gonna weight his shoulder, right? So all of my weight went down on the shoulder. My knees are together, and then I'm just gonna take my foot, I'm gonna straighten it, and I'm gonna back curl it in this hole right here. Does this look familiar? What's he gonna do now, probably? He's probably gonna roll. I'm gonna capture it and capture it, right? So I maintain the kill the entire time.
Meet me at this entrance.
Nick's gonna show up. That's a long story. Kids, man, kids. Parenting is a trip. Anyway, you've never been in a room where everybody wants to see you win, whatever it is that you're trying to win. You know, nobody in this room is in competition with you, and it's the epitome of that. You know, nobody cares. Everybody just wants to see you here. They want to see you happy. You know, the hardest thing, man, is coming through the door, right? And trust me when I say, with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is weighing on you like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? And you got kids, and you got wives, and you got jobs, and you got relationships, and you got all those other things. The thing that takes the back burner over all that is you, but most importantly, your mental health. You know what I mean? The machine that keeps that all going. To be the one who's got to be there for your kids, or be there for your spouse, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? To be there for your boss, to be a good employee, or to be the boss. You know, a lot of you guys may be drug. I don't know. I don't know. So. But that wasn't. Probably is. But the camaraderie in this room, man, when you come in here and you've had just a terrible day and it seems like everything's going wrong, when you come in this room and everybody hugs you, it's a little weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. These dudes love each other, hug each other. You know what I mean? But that's what we should do, man. We should hug the people that we love and the people that we have things in common with and the people that we don't have things in common with. These mats right here, if life needs more of this, we all have different backgrounds, man. We all have different beliefs. We all have different ideas. And we get to all come together. We've been here all day long. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's fighting. We all fight together over this thing. And to me, that thing is not martial arts. Don't get it mistaken. I've talked about it all the time. The thing that I do is I love people. When you have an avenue that has love in it, will funnel to that. That's what I figured out. All the martial arts that we do and all the movements, they could all be junk, really. If you come in here, I mean, they could be mediocre. They could be, be mid, right? But if you come in here and you're like, man, I'm having a shitty day today, and I come in here, and it's just like, I leave and all that's gone. You go home and you're talking to your wife or your husband or whoever, and all of a sudden you're a little gentler, you're a little easier to get along with. You don't see the world as such this thing that's like, what are we doing? You come in here and you do this violence and you leave happy. And that just brings it all back to, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It comes back to that. If you want peace, be violent, that type of thing. A peaceful society is a violent society. And that's why I think this room, because we're practicing violence. You don't come to where, you don't go to Rome and not be a Roman. Does that make sense? We're coming in here to be violent. And because of that, we're much less peaceful. We're much easier to get along. Not to mention we have an avenue for the dickhead boss, and the bills that are tough to pay. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to put your hand through the wall. Right? I get that. I mean, you guys have done that. Shit hurts. It's expensive. Come in here and all in on jiu-jitsu. You can commit, I'm gonna strangle her. Now he can tap, we're all safe, we can do it again. That's another thing that I like about jiu-jitsu. You can practice it 100% with your buddies and nobody's really gonna get hurt. We're all safe, we're gonna get along. You can't really do that with striking, you know what I mean? It doesn't work out. You can do that with jiu-jitsu, really like it. But anyway, let's rewind just a little bit to coming in here, the camaraderie, the friendliness of other people. When you walk in here for the first time, it should be weird. Wow, everybody's so loving, right? I hope you guys felt that today. I hope you guys felt that. Like, everybody's pretty friendly. Some people talk more than others, right? Because we all have different backgrounds. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that some of you guys are super quiet. Some of you guys won't shut up. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? And that's what the world needs more of. It needs more of this. People getting along that are from, I know a lot of you guys are felons. Trevor over there is a felon. But we just, the area of, the broad hardships of life that we've all come from. Coming in here, man, ironing it all out, and leaving and spreading that to the community, right? To the people that are around you. Because you are the 5 people that you hang out with the most. So if you're a miserable prick, and your existence is a life, and you're walking through that, and you expect somebody to want to be around you, bless you. What kind of thought is that? Like, you're a leech of energy of that, right? But when you have an avenue that can focus on your mental health, physical health, right, your spiritual health, if you want to call it that as well. When you have that avenue, then you can go to those relationships and not try to take from that energy. Because if you put a rotten apple in a bag, what happens? Right? That's it. You know what I mean? One negative guy can always change the dynamic of a room. Does that make one guy. And most of us in here are men. So let's talk about anger for just a little bit. We don't have an avenue of anger. And we don't have a way to take it to a place that we can do it safely. Where do we take it? To those 5 people. If you're doing that, now we've got the whole thing, the whole mechanism of the fucking storm. You just created it. You didn't even realize it. You're just violent. But every man is violent. That's what we do, right? Grab rock, protect cave. That's violent, right? That's inside of us all. You know what I mean? And if we don't come do something that gets into that primal of who we are, we take that to the world, man. That's real. Don't pretend to be don't be real. Maybe it's in the way of actual physical violence. That would be terrible, but it happens. You know, that would be terrible. Maybe it's just verbal. Maybe just a grumpy shit. You just need something to work on you. And once you work on you for a little bit, man, you'll start to see the glow come back around you. It's real.
What were you about to say?
So anyway, never take what we do in this room, but it's about this room. It's not about this room. It's about giving to people that came in the door. We all know what it's like. We all know who in here has this changed their life. Raise your hand, show your hands. Martial arts changed my life. Jiu-jitsu. So we all know a story. You know, I can't tell you guys after 35 years how many times I've heard it. I was at the end, and then I met you. That's what, like, what else? You know what I mean? That's real. So when you find something that can give somebody that, man, you just want to share that with the world, and that's how the virus spreads. You know what I mean? So I'm so excited that Planet's coming to Planet. I'm so excited to see what you guys do up here. I know you guys are going to kill it. I know you guys are going to build this jet, man. You're going to represent me. You're going to represent 10th Planet. You know, which is all love, man. Everywhere we go, whatever it is we do, however violent we are going to show up. You know what I mean? It's all out of love, and everybody knows it. So that's what I wanted to pass on to you guys. All the moves, they're just take it or leave it. You know, maybe you took some, maybe you didn't. But that's the part that I always like to leave you guys with, is just that satisfaction, knowing that you come to a room where everybody loves you and they accept you for who you are. You know, let's get a picture.